Yo, what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak here to bring you, I just want to do this quick video on the Nintendo 2DS announcement. I'll leave a link in the description to my website article where I talked about everything else, like the Wii U bundle, the Zelda stuff, the new prices and release dates for the games, and the site is faster now. So please look at that and tell me if the site's fast. It should be, because I got a lot of complaints and I was working with it all yesterday to get it sped up, but no one gives a fuck about that. So the 2DS, I've been seeing a lot of, I think almost everybody, the overwhelming response to this thing is negative, but then again, this game isn't marketed towards the core gamer anyway, so it's like, it's not for us, so it doesn't really matter if our response is negative. But I mean, from what Reggie explained, it's supposed to be for like the little kids. That's why it's priced retardedly cheap, and it comes out the same day as Pokemon X and Y, because you know there's a selling point. Now the people who are completely shocked by the even, why are they making another 3DS version? Really? As if this hasn't been a trend since, like, what, the Game Boy Advance? Hell, even the Game Boy had 2 different versions to it. And remember, it's not like this is the first time we've had just random dumbass iterations of the same console. Like, for example, what we had? We had the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. That's, in terms of the Game Boy line, that was it. And then for the Game Boy Advance, we had 3 different fucking consoles. You had the Game Boy Advance, you had the Game Boy Advance SP, and anyone remembers the Game Boy Micro? That $100 piece of shit that no one really should have bought? Honestly, that was such a fucking waste of money and time and effort. It's like, but it's like, oh, Nintendo hasn't done this before. Why? It's like, this is taking, it's like, I don't understand why people were shocked by this. And if we go into the DS line, is when it really got ridiculous. Is what you had the original fat DS, then you had the DS Lite, then you had the DSi, and I think you had the DS. I think one of them was XL. It was either the DS Lite XL or the DSi XL. It was ridiculous. You had 4 fucking different DS consoles, and then it's like, well, the 3DS. It's like the 3DS. Like, to me, it's like, why would they do this? Or people not understand. I think Broken Games even fucking said, he was like, I would have bet money that they wouldn't have done this. Like, really? You would have bet money, even though history has shown that they have done this multiple times. They've actually gotten more ridiculous with it as time has gone on. The DS had 4 fucking iterations. The Game Boy Advance had 3. And the 3DS currently has 3. Come on, they do this all the fucking time with their handhelds. Why were you shocked at this? Honestly, for me personally, I understand what they're going for, and in the idea and what it's supposed to serve, it's fine. If it costs more to make a game 3D, to have a system that plays games in 3D, I have no problem with you taking that shit out and making it 2D, considering half of the majority of the 3DS games, people don't even play with 3D on, nor do they care to. So there's no reason to have a feature in there people aren't going to use. I mean, granted, me personally, I would still buy a 3DS or a 3DS XL, which is what I own. But I have no problem with this because it makes the console cheaper. I mean, for God's sake, $170 for fucking $170 or $200 is still a lot for a handheld. I mean, considering how much people were bitching about the Vita, which has only gotten a $50 price drop. I think, what is it, $200 now? It's just like, come on. I have no problem with it going from 170 to 130, especially considering the 3DS games themselves are more than the other handheld games have been. The 3DS games are what, $40 a piece? We're not used to that shit for handhelds. So I like the balancing out of having a console that's $130 and you get a game for $40. Obviously they're going for the whole X and Y correlations. Like, if you buy this, you get this, and you'll have it's the same amount as if you had just bought a normal 3DS. But what bothers me, and this is really the only thing that bothers me, is the design of this fucking console. From what I understand, from what I think, I was watching Neil Gainspark's video, and he said something along the lines that they were going for the tablet design. I hope that's not what the fuck they were going for. And I'm glad he said that, because I honestly would have came up here and told you, I have no idea what the fuck they were aiming for. They have been making folding consoles since the Game Boy Advance SP launched. Every console since then, except for the exception of the Game Boy Micro, but no one gives a fuck because that's a piece of shit. That was a piece of shit when it came out. Has been the folding consoles. everyone besides Game Boy Micro. So why the fuck would you randomly decide now to go, hey, let's just throw this tablet looking like controller, and by the way, it doesn't even look like that. You know what it looks like? It looks like a really thin slice of cake. Turn that bitch sideways. That's what it looks like. And I'm just sitting there going, why did you design it this way? I have no problem with the console existing. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with why the fuck did you make it look so ridiculous? And my only reasoning would think is maybe what Neo said, the tablet thing, but I also think maybe it's the cut cost. Maybe it was easier just to make a very flat, streamlined product. I mean, I would think it would cost more to have a console that has to bend and fold, because you then also have to add in hinges and whatnot. Having a console look like this, you're really much just having, it's like you literally just took like a flat piece of plastic and metal and you just kind of shaped it into a slightly slanted thing. Like, that probably was cheaper to make too, which is probably how they got the cost down so fucking low. Granted, it's only $40, but you know, I'm not a developer. This is just my theories. But honestly, people shocked by this. You must have not really owned that many Nintendo handhelds if you're shocked by the fact that there's another iteration of a handheld, considering almost every handheld they've made have had multiple iterations of it. At the very least 2, at the very most like 4. And it's just, so as I said, it's like the only thing that really bothers me about this thing is the design. I really don't have a problem with it even existing, but just why does it look like it? And it's a handheld. From what I've seen the comparison shots, it's actually smaller than an open like normal 3DS. But still, that's still too fucking big to put in your pocket, which is what most people do with their handhelds. It looks like they took the width of a Game Boy Advance and the height of a 3DS. Actually, I'm trying to think. No, a height of a Game Boy Advance SP, and they just slapped both of them together, and you got this. Like, in terms of height and width, that's how fucking big it is. And I'm just like, it literally feels like you're holding a brick, like a skinny foam brick in your hands. Why? That's what I'm thinking it's gonna be like. And I'm just like, if it's supposed to be a portable device, if you can't even do something as basic like fit it in your pocket, you defeat the purpose of it being a portable device. Where are you going to carry it? And then obviously when they revealed it, they showed the little package it came in, like the little carrying case you're supposed to hold it in, as if anyone really holds their game consoles in a carrying case. You know, most people just fold up their consoles and just put them in their pockets. And granted, the 3DS XL is pushing it in terms of bigness, so I know damn well this thing isn't going to fit, because you can't shut it. I actually think that's like the biggest problem with this thing. The biggest problem I have with the 2DS is the fact that it's too big and you can't shut it. You can't close it in half. It's like, well, let's just... As I said, I'm not really mad at anything else. Just, why that design? It's like a cake. Someone even did the pictures. And like, it actually can, the way it's shaped, it actually looks like it could be the blade edge of an axe. It's fucking... Why would you go with this design? That's all I have to ask Nintendo. Why did you go with this design for this damn thing? But honestly, that's all I wanted to say. You can look in the description for my thoughts on the price drop and the announcement of games and whatnot, and the release dates. But overall, I think, I'll say this if you want to know the quick version of it. Everything for the most part was positive except for the fucking design of the 2DS. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, life's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Hey, show.